In the beginning, it felt like magic. Not because they were perfect. Not because they had it all together. But because you saw what they could become. You saw potential, and it lit something in you. They weren't consistent, but you excused it. They didn't communicate well, but you told yourself they'd learn. They weren't showing up fully, but you held space, patiently, lovingly. Because deep down, you weren't in love with who they were, you were in love with the future version of them you believed in. You told yourself they just needed time. That your love could soften their edges. That if you poured in enough, stayed long enough, sacrificed just enough, they'd finally meet you in the middle. But days turned into months. Months into years. And the dream you clung to, or the potential you fell for, never came to life. You kept showing up for a promise they never made. You kept waiting for a breakthrough they never chased. You kept holding on to a version of them they never asked to become. Here's the part no one likes to say out loud: you didn't fall in love with the person in front of you. You fell in love with the blueprint. The possibility. The maybe. And in doing so, you ignored the reality. You romanticized the gaps. You turned red flags into renovation projects. You loved them so hard, you forgot to ask, do they even want to grow? Do they even see what you see? Or were you building a future with someone who never intended to move in? Love is not a solo construction site. It's not your job to be the architect and the foundation. You can't drag someone toward their potential. You can't date a person's future. And you? You don't need to shrink yourself to fit into their smallness. You don't need to slow down your growth to match their comfort zone. You don't need to beg someone to meet you in the present. The truth is, real love doesn't live in fantasy. It lives in eye contact, in accountability, in shared effort, in mutual evolution. They don't need fixing. And you're not broken for wanting more. You deserve someone who's ready now. Not eventually. Not someday. Someone who's not intimidated by your depth. Who doesn't need pushing to grow, but chooses growth with you. Because potential? Potential is just a promise. And you can't build intimacy on promises that go unkept. When you stop chasing the illusion, you start choosing alignment. You open space for real connection, the kind that doesn't need convincing. The kind that stands beside you, willingly, fully, presently. The kind that shows up. The kind that doesn't make you feel like too much. Because to them, your fullness is the very thing that fits. Subscribe to Marriage and Relationship 247 for cinematic stories on conscious love, clarity, and connection. Let's stop waiting for people to become and start loving in the now.